Welcome back to AnimeQuest. The company Pied Piper today, not really today, but in general, has announced that they have licensed Skipbeat for DVD and Blu-ray distribution here in North America. They have also announced that they are starting an IndieGOGO campaign in order to fund the dub and get extra special features, which, honestly, I'm kind of wondering why they're doing that. That being said, I absolutely understand why they're doing that. The reason I previously said I don't understand why they're doing that is because I don't understand why they're possibly, keyword, possibly wasting the resources to start. I know it sounds weird because you're starting an IndieGOGO to gain resources, but the fact that they're putting time into something that may not succeed, and it's because they're not too sure of it that they want to fund it, have it funded, and have an IndieGOGO campaign for it in the first place, which is why I wanted to talk about this, because I've always wondered why companies like Sentai Filmworks especially, who release just so many subtitle-only shows, why they never go to crowdfunding to try and figure out what people want and what they want from a dub. They could easily start crowdfunding campaigns and try to get enough money to, or at least to enough to help, create an English adaptation of something that they previously wouldn't have. For example, I wished that they had dubbed things like Captain Earth and Golden Time, or maybe redubbed like Funimation did for Shakugan no Shana, Familiar of Zero, second seasons through fourth season, and OVAs. I wish they had dubbed those because, I'm an English speaker and I like watching my anime spoken in my native tongue. I can watch stuff in Japanese, but I prefer to watch it in English. Well, okay English dubs. And Seraphim Digital, they do some good English dubs in Sentai Filmworks, so... But anyways, I always wondered this because you have companies that will just skip out, and even Funimation is starting to do it now too. Inari Konkon, C3, Oni Eye, they're all animes that Funimation has yet to dub and have actually already begun releasing and given pre-orders for, and they haven't dubbed them. They've been doing great by doing like the broadcast dubs and then the redubs for the broadcast dubs, for the DVD and Blu-ray releases, but they've been doing good overall. But it's like, if you don't have enough resources though for this other project, or you don't think this other project will do well, one of two things: see if people would want this, ask them, or start a crowdfunding campaign to try and get the money for it, or don't license it in the first place. Honestly, I would much prefer Sentai Filmworks to shorten the amount of shows they license each year, because they license a lot, just to shorten it up and trim it up a bit, just so they could dub the other shows. I realize this is, reaching, especially since they probably want to get their hands on shows as fast as possible and before other competitors. On top of that, other shows will get lost as time goes on. So I understand why that's reaching, but it's just what I think should happen. Now back into the case of Skipbeat. I think this is really cool. Like I said, it's a weird thing where I understand why, but I don't understand why at the same time, because I don't think it'll be successful. I personally have seen Skipbeat. The story, it's not as good as others like it, like Glass Mask. In fact, as far as performing arts anime goes, like anime centered around, idolism and performing arts, I'd say Glass Mask has to be my favorite. But that's me saying that because I think Glass Mask is amazing. But anyways, Skipbeat's not bad either. It's got a nice little romantic subplot, and the main character, she used to be ugly. She's unsure of herself. Well, ugly, from her own perspective. And she wanted to change herself. She wanted to become better, and she wanted to break into show business. And basically, that's what the anime is about. And she's given her start. She works with a talent agency. She's trying to raised through the ranks, I guess, and there's a romantic plot line with another actor he's like a really good TV actor, things like that. Anyways, it's not a bad anime. I've seen it, but I don't understand the appeal for it, especially since this type of anime has never done very well or even had very much faith put it in the past. The old 80s version of Glass Mask, as far as I know, I don't even think that ever even came to the States. On top of that, Sentai Filmworks licensed, the reboot slash remake slash continuation of it later, but they only ever released half of it over here in the United States. They never released the other half, and they didn't dub it, and they didn't give it a Blu-ray release. Just one DVD copy. Probably didn't do well at all. Probably did awful. But regardless, I enjoyed Glass Mask. But that's why I'm saying I don't think this will do well, but I guess that's why they're starting an IndieGOGO crowdfunding campaign in the first place. And it makes sense because, they're putting faith in this. And I believe they did this with another series as well. I think it was Time of Eve. It was Pied Piper did Time of Eve, and they started a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter for that, I believe. So I definitely understand, and I definitely see why they're doing it to gain popularity, but I don't actually think it's going to do very well. Next paycheck I might actually drop a few dollars on it, try to help them out, because they are offering some cool things too. I think from the way it looks that it's already getting dubbed regardless of how well the crowdfunding campaign does. So that's the scariest part. They're already dumping resources into it, which I think companies should dub just about everything they license anyways, like Viz Media. Thank you, Viz Media. They take their sweet time getting things out, but they get things out and they do it right almost every time. And the dub here, it actually looks like it has some very good potential. Mela Lee, who was Ren Tosaka in the Fate's Day Night, and Yuki Cross in Vampire Knight, she's going to be in it. She's going to be helping with it. Christina V, who is Sailor Mars in Sailor Moon and Homura and Madoka Magica, she's going to be in it. And Jason Charles Miller, who has worked on the Avatar: The Last Airbender, Final Fantasy 14, and World of Warcraft, and Hellsing, and he's the owner of Central Command Studios. He's also working on it. They definitely have talent for a good English adaptation here, and they are offering some pretty cool special features depending on how well the IndieGOGO campaign does. And here, let me tell you this real quick. Now, they say these additional features that are going to be added through stretch goals include behind-the-scenes bonus videos, all-star voice cast, and top creative talent for direction and script adaptation, and other surprise goals to be revealed during the campaign. Surprise, surprise, they're not telling us, and I honestly don't think they have much else to do. But that would be amazing if they created something like what Berserk has on its DVD release, like the outtakes where the actors just go off on tangents and say stuff is funny and that doesn't really have anything to do with the show, or just the times that they screw up. Just save those moments and build up like an outtakes. That would be a nice little set of special features. I mean, hell, that's something they could do without a crowdfunding campaign. But anyways, I really want to hear what you guys think about this. I personally don't think the IndieGOGO campaign is going to do very well. I'm going to try to leave a link to it below, but it's not starting until March. And that's about a week or so away. So I'll try to remember to come back to this video and leave a link. If you like Skip Beat, if you've seen it, tell me what you think about it. Go ahead and go and support it. Try to get an English dub and a DVD Blu-ray release over here in the United States. And I will see you guys on the next Quest for Anime.